Good morning, everybody. I hope you are all very comfortable at home. Hope you've been washing your hands. Hope you've been staying healthy. All right, I am. I'm at home. I love being at home right now. This is wonderful. So we get the best of both worlds. You get to be comfy at home, but you still get to continue your learning. So that's pretty good. I'm gonna start off by saying that this is gonna be a great opportunity for us to step up. Because even though we really don't know when is the next time that we'll get to see each other. So don't treat it as a vacation. It's like this is a challenge. I'm not sure if you know, but every time summer vacation happens, people's test scores go like this. Okay? And that's because we forget things when we don't do things. And so it would break my heart if all our hard work went to waste just because, we stopped doing math for 2 weeks. So, or however long. So, without further ado, I'm going to be doing all the assignments for both classes, and I believe everyone got the same problem set. So, you should be able to follow along and do these problems. All right. Now, you're not legally bound or obligated, and neither am I, to be doing this. So we're doing this so that we can level up and keep our knowledge and our mind sharp. That being said, I would love to start doing these like live. However, I just tried to do a live stream on YouTube, and it says that it takes 24 hours for my new account to be ready to live stream. So I can't do that for the first one, but that's okay. All right. So if you have any questions, the Google Classroom is where you would put those questions about the math. So without further ado, here we have the 8th grade assignment. I picked one called Equations with Variables on Both Sides. I'm skipping the video ones because obviously you can just do those on your own. And yeah, let's get started. So first we have 16 minus 2t equals t plus 9 plus 4t. T plus 9 plus 4t. Oh my gosh, writing in chalk is wild. Okay, so whenever you see an equation, one of the smartest things to do is, just like we've been doing, is put a dotted line right down the middle so that we can maintain the balance, maintain the equation. One of the first things that you'll want to do, maybe you pause the video and look at this thing. Maybe you notice all the things that are written and you see, hey, these are known as what? Those are known as like terms, and so you can combine those. So if you're at home following along, t plus 4t, that's 1t plus 4t, you get a 5t. And then you have 9 left over, so you just put plus 9. One thing that I've seen people do very much is they take that 9 and they combine it with the 5t somehow. Don't do that. That's like not good. All right, so just don't do that. This next one, we could just bring down this because 16 minus 2t, you can't combine that. But I am just going to do this. And notice I put like a little curly Q on my t so that way you can tell it's a t. I just switched those two. I switched the negative 2t and the positive 16. I switched them so that way we can just have it in variable, then number. Then variable, then number. Okay. From here, what I've been telling people is that you want your t's to be on this side, right? In all reality, it doesn't matter what side t is on, just as long as you get t by itself. So right now you have t on both sides. So you have to choose to get rid of one of those. You have to get rid of one of those. And so I am going to stick with what we've been doing. I want to keep my t on this side. So I'm going to get rid of this one here, okay? So how do we get rid of a plus 5t? It really is a plus 5t. We get rid of it by doing the opposite. So if you're at home wildly shouting, it's minus 5t, you're correct, all right? Very well done. Let's do that step. Let's see what happens. So this is my favorite part right here. Cross it out. You're left over with 9. And on this side, you're left over with minus 2t minus 5t. This is one of the things that was killing us before we left. Well, not all of us, But listen, you got to remember how to combine two negative numbers. Now, minus 2t minus 5t. That means like you lost $2, you lost $5, so you lost a total of $7. Minus 7t. All right? The plus 16 just comes down, and boom, we're here. We're almost to the end of our equation. Let me just move this a little bit. What do we need to do? We need to get rid of this 16, this plus 16. What's the opposite of plus 16? Minus 16. Minus 16. And let's do this. What's left on this first side is negative 7t equals, and then 9 minus 16. Well, I know 16 minus 9 is 7, so 9 minus 16 would be negative 7. Okay? Boomski. Are we done? No. We almost have y by itself. We just have to do one final step. I hope it fits. Let's see. To get rid of this negative 7 coefficient, keep in mind that it's being multiplied right now. Okay? How do we get rid of that minus 7 coefficient? Some people at home are probably saying divide, divide, divide. Yes. So if I could write neatly, that's divided by negative 7, divided by negative 7, and I'll write my answer right over here. We are left on the first side with 1t, and on the second side, negative 7 divided by the same thing, negative 7. Anything divided by itself will always equal 1. Okay? And so you get t equals 1. And so let us, what's that little sliver? There we go. Let us go ahead and input that. T equals 1. Check. You only have to do 4 problems. Okay? I mean, you have to do 4 assignments, but it's 4 problems per assignment. So there you go. That was the first problem. Now we could quite possibly move a little faster. All right? The beauty of this is that you have a pause button at home, so you can pause anytime you're like, I don't get this. Pause, rewind as many times as you want. I don't care. All right? Okay. Cool. Let's go again. 7b minus 15. 7b minus 15 equals ... 5b minus 3. My personal first favorite step is, like, we want to get this letter by itself, this b by itself. So I like to start simplifying kind of like the first side here. So how do I get rid of minus 15? Hopefully we know what's the opposite of minus 15. Opposite of subtraction. I hope you haven't forgotten it yet. Plus 15. And plus 15. Now notice along the way, when I put this plus 15, you got to put it under the constant. You can't put it under the things that say b. Why? Well, because they're not like terms. You got to put it under the thing that's the like term. Okay? 15 minus... Negative 15 plus 15, gone. So what comes down? You get a simple 7b, regular 7b, okay? Equals, bring down the 5b, and negative 3 plus 15. Well, I know that 15 minus 3 is 12. Yeah, positive 15 minus 3 is 12. That's a positive 12, so. Or you could think negative 3 plus 15 is 12, same thing. We have b on both sides. You can pause right here and start thinking, which one do I want to get rid of? Again, I'm going to do the same thing every time. I'm going to get rid of the one on the second side because I like just keeping the first side. I like just keeping that. So let us get rid of 5b. The way we're going to get rid of this entire 5b, it's positive 5b, so you can put a little plus sign in front of it. To get rid of positive 5b, you would just do minus 5b. Subtract the whole thing. In fact, I heard a lot of people wanting to divide before we left. You only divide as like your final step to get rid of a coefficient, all right? Or if there's like a greatest common factor, you can get rid of that. But let's just subtract this whole thing. 7b minus 5b, well, that's just easy. That's just 2b. On this side, those are gone because they're opposites, and you're left with 12. And now you have 2b equals 12. Most of you can think 2 times 6 equals 12, but let me just show the actual algebra step. b equals 6. Okay? Let's count how many steps that was, by the way. You write the... Alright, if you count writing the equation, that's 1 step. Second step, add 15. Third step, subtract 5b. Last step, divide by 2. So I don't know. Depends on what you count as a step, but b equals 6, alright? Very easy peasy, right? Now listen, I've been doing this for 5 minutes right now, and maybe like 6 minutes, and I've been taking my sweet, sweet time, okay? Actually, I've been going exactly 10 minutes and 30 seconds. I've been taking my time, and look at how easy this is, guys. Like, this is going to take even less than regular class. All right, let's check this. There we go. Okay, so next question. Oh my goodness, we got a lot of negatives here, so let's start writing that down. Oh man, I'm lucky I'm not at school because I don't want anyone coughing all over me. I also don't want to cough all over anyone accidentally, okay? So you guys, it's very good that we're at home doing this. 16 minus 2r equals negative 3r plus 6r plus 1. 6r kind of sounds like Pixar. I don't know why that crossed my mind, but there we go. Okay, now you can see it all. Okay, let's look at this written equation. Where are the like terms? Is there anything we can already combine before we start doing things to both sides? And hopefully you said, oh look, there's 2 r's there, so minus 3r plus 6r, or plus 6r minus 3r. I know that is a positive 3r if you combine those two. Then just bring down the 1. Boom, you have combined like terms right here. You've done it. Okay? Write that down. Be writing everything down as we go, please. 16 minus 2r. Again, we just bring this down because we can't combine these two. Just bring them down, but I'm going to bring down the minus 2r first. And then this positive 16, I'm going to put that second. So all we did was switch them, right? That's it. Okay. Then from here, I'm going to try to get this r by itself, okay? So how do I get rid of this plus 16 next to it? Well, I would minus 16 from each side. This gets kind of repetitive, but it's alright. That's what we need. Plus 16 minus 16. Anybody? Hopefully you said 0. Alright, what do we bring down? Not just 2r. That's another thing. A lot of people just bring down 2r. It's like, look at the sign right before it. It is a negative 2r. Boom. Let's bring down this side. 3r can just come down because there's nothing else. And then plus 1 minus 16. 1 minus 16, well, 0 minus 16 is negative 16. 1 minus 16 would be negative 15. Boom. Okay, we're almost done. You see, we still have r on both sides, but like I've been saying, which one am I going to get rid of? I like to keep my first one. I like to get rid of my second one. My second one is 3r here. How do we get rid of a full 3r? Pause the video, think, what's the next step? All right, pause the video to catch up on the written work too. I'm saying we gotta be writing this all down. But we want to get rid of this 3r right here. How do we do that? We subtract it. Okay, so minus 3r. And please do me a favor. So many people, when they subtract 3r, they'll say minus 3. No, it's not just minus 3. It's minus 3r. All right, don't forget that variable because it means something completely different. Minus 2r minus 3r. I lost 2 raccoons and then I lost 3 raccoons. So that means I lost 5 raccoons, all right? Or whatever word starts with an r, okay? Next, 3r minus 3r. I hope you said 0. We've been doing this for a long time. And then bring down this minus 15. Hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Okay, and then minus 5r minus 15. How do we get rid of this minus 5, negative 5 coefficient? Hint. Some people will think plus 5, but remember, I'm putting that little multiplication sign in there so that you know that this is times negative 5. r times negative 5. So how do I get rid of times negative 5? Hopefully you said the opposite of multiplication, which is division. Divide by negative 5. Gotta adjust this little thing. Oh my goodness. Hold on. There we go. Can you guys see that a little better? Hopefully. There we go. So divide by negative 5 on each side. And where will my answer fit? Probably right here on the side, okay? Negative 5 divided by negative 5. Negative 5r divided by negative 5. You are left with 1r. So I'm just going to put that on the side. 1r. Then you're left with equals negative 15 divided by negative 5. This reminds me of the classic scene in that movie I told you about that Colombian teacher. I'm not going to get into it. Negative 15 divided by negative 5. Negative divided by negative should get you a positive answer according to the rules. So you're left with r equals 5. Okay? Again, here are all the steps. They're not that long, you know? They're very easy, very relaxing. So what did you say? R equals 5? What? Hold on. Oh my goodness, did I not... Wow. Listen, everyone's mind could be messed up a little bit, alright? Negative 15 divided by negative 5 is not 5, guys. It's 3. What's wrong with me today? Alright? Boom. Great that you stuck with it. Onward. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, final question for the 8th grade assignment. Oh, wait a second. I told you to do 4 of these a day? Yeah, that's actually fine. Okay, that's actually fine. I'll do 4 as well. At least I'll show you the steps for how to do it. All right, it's very easy. All right, 8 minus 4s. Let's do it. 8 minus 4, and I write my s small because if I write it big, it looks like a 5. Okay, 8 minus 4s equals dotted line s plus 13. Okay. Anything to combine on either side? I personally do not see anything. I see 8 and minus 4s cannot be combined, and this cannot be combined. So our next step is to... actually, you know what? Yeah. Our next step is to... You see this minus 4s? I always like to have the variable first. So if you would please rewrite the first side like this so that it's kind of like the second side, that would be great. Okay? So, which s... We want to isolate the variable. We want to get s by itself. Look at this first side. What's the first thing you're going to want to get rid of? Again, you can pause the video, catch up on this work. But what is the first thing you want to get rid of? Is it the negative 4 or the plus 8? Okay, hopefully you've paused the video and you've decided that I need to get rid of this plus 8. So do minus 8, minus 8. 8 minus 8 is 0, so you're going to bring down a negative 4s equals, bring down the s, and then 13 minus 8, this one is 5. You can't convince me otherwise. That's 5 for sure. Okay. Let's see. So we got s on both sides still. Again, I hope you remember, keep the s on the first side, get rid of the s on the second side. There's no rule that says that, but if you just do the same thing every time, it will be easier for your life. Okay? So let's see. Minus 4s minus 1s. Let me put a little 1 there so that way we can... minus 4s minus 1s. Well, you lost 4 sheep and then you lost 1 sheep. That means you lost a total of 5 sheep. Negative 5s. Okay? 1s minus 1s. Gone. So all that's left to bring down is this positive 5. So bring down a 5. What is the final step to each side? Well, this negative 5 is a coefficient, and we all know to get rid of a coefficient, you divide it. Divide by negative 5. So let us see what we get. Negative 5s divided by negative 5. I cross these out because it equals 1s now. So I'm just going to put s. S. And then on the second side, I have 5 divided by negative 5. Well, I know 5 divided by 5 is 1. 5 divided by a negative 5 is negative 1. All right. Oh, no. I clicked the wrong box. All right. S equals negative 1. And check. Hooray. Hooray, hooray, hooray. 3 out of 4 correct. You mean it didn't count the... Oh, my goodness. All right, so I'm going to change some expectations, guys. They don't have to be 100% correct. How about that? Because obviously I got the third one where I messed up on my division. It counted it as wrong. So, which it was wrong at first, but I don't want you to have to go through that whole assignment if that's the case. But just make sure that you have this work written so that you can look back on it and whatnot. Okay, let's see. We could probably do one more assignment. Let's do one more assignment. So let's see. We did equations with variables on both sides. Wonderful. Equations with variables on both sides with decimals and fractions. This is what we can end on today. So cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, now we got the same exact kinds of problems, but now we got decimals. Okay? So 8th grade, we're just going to do, how many problems does this ask us to do? Like 4, probably? We're going to do 4 decimal problems. And then please, 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 watch the video. Do the video assignments, all right? I'm going to do the equivalent of what I would be doing in class. So usually I would do like, let's say I do 40 minutes of instruction, 30 to 40 minutes. So we'll do 30 to 40 minutes here. I think two Khan Academy assignments per day would be actually very, very good. Maybe even one moving forward. But again, since I'm showing you how to do all this, all you have to do is watch the video and copy it. So, okay, let's write this one down. So we got 5c plus 16.5 equals 13.5 plus 10c. Okay, perfect. Dotted line down the middle. Same exact thing we were doing, except now it's decimals. It's not really that much harder. So 5c minus 16.5. Look at this first side first. What number do we want to get rid of so that we just have c left over? Well, we need to get rid of 5, and we need to get rid of plus 16.5. We've done this hundreds of times by this point, so hopefully you know minus 16.5. And since, again, an equation is a balance, so you got to do the same thing to both sides. Always. That's why I always do the work the same way, because if you don't do the work this way, you will forget, at some point, you will forget to do the same thing to both sides. So I always just have 2 sides so that I know I'm doing the exact same thing. This equals 0, so 5c comes down, equals 13.5 minus 16.5. Well, I know 16.5 minus 13.5 is 3. So if I do 13.5 minus 16.5, that's negative 3, because it's a little number minus a big number. And then plus 10c. Bring that down. Okay, perfect. We have c on both sides. Which side do you want to keep? This side. What c do you want to get rid of? This side. So how do I get rid of plus 10c? What's the opposite of plus 10c? Minus 10c, minus 10c. Line. 5c minus 10c. Well, I know 10c minus 5c is 5c. So 5c minus 10c got to be negative 5c. Okay? On this side, I love doing that. All right, that equals 0. So just cross it out. Negative 3 comes down. There we go. Ooh, this is kind of fun. To get rid of this negative 5 coefficient, we divide. That's usually our last step on all of these. And so let's see what happens. Negative 5c divided by negative 5, we are left with 1c. Negative 3 divided by negative 5, we are left with positive 3/5, because negative divided by negative makes a positive 3/5. And if you do 3/5 on your calculator, or 3 divided by 5, that's 0.6. I don't know which one they're going to ask for, so let's just go. It says solve for C. I think it'll accept both. Personally, since there's decimals in the problem, I want to use decimal in the answer, so I'm going to do 0.6. Keep it up for 3 more. All right, sweet. Dude, this Khan Academy is more encouraging than I am. Jeez. I'm sorry, guys. I'll try to be more encouraging. So check this out. This problem right here. Oh my gosh. I had a nosebleed earlier, guys, and I feel like it's just ready to go again. So if I leave suddenly, you'll know why. Yeah, this next problem right here has fractions in it. So if our answer is not a whole number, and I think which one should we use, decimal or fraction? I'm gonna go with fraction, because if that's what it says in the problem, if that's what is in the equation to begin with, then I will use that. So negative 1/4 a minus 4 equals 7/4 a minus 3. Okay. No like terms to combine on this side, no like terms to combine on this side. So let's just go ahead and begin by getting a by itself. How do we get rid of this number right next to it, this minus 4? Think, what's the opposite of minus 4? Plus 4. And then plus 4 on both sides, obviously. Okay? Wonderful. So let's see what happens after that first step. Minus 4 plus 4. Gone. Negative 1/4 a comes down. Equals negative 3 minus 4. Well, I know that negative 3... Why did I say negative 3 minus 4? It's negative 3 plus 4. I know that that's going to be a positive 1. And then 7/4 a just comes down. Okay? Cool. Cool first step. Now, you have a's on both sides. Keep the a on the first side. Get rid of this a term on this side. How do I get rid of this whole 7/4 a? Well, pretend it was just 7a. How would you get rid of 7a? Subtract it. So here you do the exact same thing. You subtract 7/4 a, and then you subtract 7/4 a. Now this is the part where people panic, alright? Because fractions, ooh, so scary. There's these. They're available everywhere. You can use that to do your subtraction here. Or you can just, it's not that bad, guys. Minus 1/4 minus 7/4. So you lost 1/4. What starts with an A? I don't even know what starts with an A. But you lost 1/4 A, and then you lost 7/4 A. So total, how many fourths A did you lose? You lost 8/4 A. And then this, something minus itself is always 0, and that equals 1. Okay? Now real quick, negative 8/4, that can be simplified. I hate looking at this fraction, and it's not simplified. Negative 8/4 is just negative 2. So we're just going to go negative 2a equals 1. Now this is not our final answer. We still have to get rid of this coefficient right here. How do we get rid of a coefficient? Pause the video. Tell me what operation to get rid of this negative 2. If it's a coefficient, look at that. Negative 2 times a. So to get rid of negative 2, in this case, you divide. If I'm getting repetitive, I hope that's what's happening, because it's better to be too repetitive than unclear. Okay? So divide by negative 2 on each side. Negative 2a divided by negative 2, we are left with, I'm going to draw a little up arrow. We are left with a equals, and then 1 divided by negative 2, that's just negative half. Or negative 0.5 if you like decimals. But again, since they use a fraction in the problem, the habit that was taught to me was you should use a fraction in your answer. Okay? So negative 1/2. Now, real quick question. Some people think, hey, wasn't the negative on the negative 2? It was, but you could also put it on the negative 1. On the 1, it still equals negative 1/2. So I always like putting it in the negative sign on the numerator. So, hooray. Okay, next one. We got decimal. Decimal in the equation, which means decimal in the answer. Okay? Again, if you need to keep up with this work, pause it, you know? That's the beauty of this thing. I don't have to, like, stop all the time, you know? Okay. 2 plus 1.25 f. I'm guessing they use the variable f to pay respects to everybody who's at home learning, all right? Much respect to everybody who's following along, all right? I respect each and every one of you immensely for working hard during this difficult time, okay? Okay. So we got this equation, little dotted line. Okay, did you notice that the number comes first and then the variable in this equation, how they wrote it in that order? We usually put the variable first. That's what we've been doing. I'm going to be a little bit lazy right now. I'm going to see a little bit lazy and also a little bit like I'm just going to leave it like that to see if you guys are able to do it without switching it. It's going to be the same exact thing. So the variable you want to get by itself is obviously f, okay? So you need to get rid of these two numbers. Now, the one that gets rid of, hopefully by this point you already know, what am I going to get rid of first, this constant or this coefficient? Hopefully you realize that the coefficient is last to get rid of. So let's get rid of the constant, this 2. Subtract 2 to get rid of it. Okay? On this side, favorite part, boom. Bring down this by itself. 1.25 f. Okay? Equals 10. 10 can just be brought down because there's nothing it's combined with. And then, whoa, pause, rewind. Guys, I did this wrong. The -2 should go here. Okay. 10 can be combined with that -2. I almost made a grave mistake there. 10 minus 2, 8, very simple. And then minus 2.75 f, that can just get brought down on its own because there's no other f. Okay? Easy peasy? That's a positive. Sorry, it just looked like a negative sign there, so I want to make sure that you didn't think it was a positive or a negative. Okay, so we have f on both sides. Pause the video after this question. Which one should you get rid of? Which one should you keep? The one on the first side or the second side? Take 5 seconds to think. Which one should you get rid of? If you've thought about it, it is indeed this side that you should get rid of. So how do you get rid of minus 2.75 f? You can do plus 2.75 f. Plus 2.75 f. Okay? Boom. Negative 2.75 f plus 2.75 f, opposites always cross out. In fact, every single problem that we've done, we do that quite often, don't we? Bring down everything that needs to be brought down. So 8 just gets brought down by itself. 125f plus 275f, we'll just pretend it's money. If you add those, you get 4f. 4 times f equals 8. By this point, you probably know 4 times what equals 8. Well, you know f equals 4 times 2 equals 8. So you know f equals 2. Now, I'm not going to be lazy. I'm going to show my algebra step, which we divided by 4 on each side. So F equals 2. We get a whole number answer. Isn't that kind of nice? 2. One more. Oh my goodness. Next question. Let's do it. Fraction. There's a fraction in this equation, meaning if we get a fraction, if we get a non-whole number answer, write it as a fraction. I bet if you write it as a decimal, it'll still count it correctly. It should still count it correctly, but I'm just trying to get you to do good habits, all right? Let's see, 16 minus 2t. 16 minus 2t. 16 minus 2t equals 3/2 t plus 9. Oh my gosh, this is like my best handwriting with chalk so far. That's pretty good, guys. That's actually really good. Okay, I'm not going to switch the order on this one. Just leave it. Putting this first, that's a good habit, but you know, that's really useful like if you're graphing, but if you're just solving the equation, you can just leave it as is now that I think about it, okay? Okay, so t is the variable we are trying to get by itself. So how do we get rid of this coefficient and this constant? Well, first of all, which one do we get rid of first? By this point, you should already know. It is the constant that we get rid of first. And that right there is a positive 16. So think of that as a plus 16. How do you get rid of a plus 16? You do minus 16. It's like if you gave your kid brother $16, how do you get rid of that $16? You take it right back, all right? You added money to his account, then you subtract it from his account. Well, you know, I don't know. Was your little brother being a little brat? I have no idea, you know, but just take that money away. That's all I'm saying. Plus 16 minus 16. Cross that out. That equals 0. What is left is minus 2t. So you bring down minus 2t. Put a little q there, a little curly q, so it doesn't look like a plus sign. Equals 3/2 t. See, the trick with this chalk is you got to hold it like a pencil to write well with it. But then you get chalk all over your hands. All right, 9 minus 16. Well, I know 16 minus 9 is 7, so 9 minus 16 is negative 7. I believe that subtraction already happened earlier in the lesson. Okay, we have t on both sides. Keep the first side. Get rid of the second side. Let's do it. Minus 3/2 t. Minus 3/2 t. And then bring down minus 7. Oh, wait. Hold on. Whoops. I got to do the line first and then bring it down. Now, keep in mind, 3/2, that's the same thing as 1.5. All right? So if that helps you think, do that, okay? Negative 3/2 is negative 1.5, okay? Just think about that. So negative 2t minus 1.5 t. So if I lost 2 teeth and then I lost 1.5 teeth, I've lost a total of 3.5 teeth. Okay? I could have written this in improper fraction form, but this will be fine. Oh my gosh, that looks horrendous. Let me try that one more time. All right, minus 2t minus, that's minus 3.5 t equals. On this side, 3/2 t minus 3/2 t. Be gone. T. All right. Oh, drop my chalk. You're left with a minus 7, so bring down that minus 7, okay? Okay? And again, this is where it comes in handy to know your decimals and your fractions, because minus 3.5 t, how do you get rid of that minus 3.5 t? Or how do you get rid of that negative 3.5 you're multiplying by here? You divide by 3.5, or by negative 3.5. Now, I'm going to do divide by negative 3.5. The only reason I do this is I usually don't use like a mix of decimals and fractions on my problem, but the reason I do this is because when you use your calculator, which a lot of you might be using, I just want to make sure that the calculation gets entered as quickly as possible. So negative 3.5t divided by negative 3.5, that equals 1t. You can cross those out, I guess. Uh, yeah. So all that's left is the t. Okay. And then negative 7 divided by negative 3.5. So how many negative 3.5s fit into negative 7? That's the other way you can think about it. Or just put it in your calculator. You will get the answer of negative divided by negative is a positive 2. Okay? If you don't believe me, do it yourself. T equals 2. I think this is the last one, right? Boom. Boom. We are done. Keep going, keep growing. All right? That's what I'm saying to you. So we started at 8. It is now 8:41. I want to see. So I see a lot of people been watching the videos. That's great. Yeah, I think we're gonna pause there because, yeah, we're just gonna pause there. All right, just make sure you've answered 2 of these, and then if there's like a video, yeah, there's more videos. There's like videos about graphing and whatnot. Just watch like one more video. That would be the best. So once again, all the work for those 2 assignments I just showed you. So please go ahead and do that, and then like watch one more video. If you want to do one of these written tasks, that'd be great. But I don't want to overwork your brain right now. Right? You need rest, you need hydration, and you need to also focus on your other classes. So, yeah. So if you stuck around that whole time, I'm very happy that you did. Best of luck on your next classes. Make sure to continue washing your hands. And yeah, anything else? Anything else? Just post a question on the comments. All right. I'm trying to remember if I forgot anything very important, but no. I just showed you. I mean, the main thing we learned today. Here we go. Here's the thing that I forgot to do. The main thing that we learned today is we solved equations. That's all we did today. We solved equations that had one variable, which was t. We solved equations, but you notice that the variable was it just on one side or was it on both sides? The variable was actually on both sides. So that's what we worked on today. We solved equations with variables on both sides, as the title of the task implies. All right. So best of luck. I hope I get to see you guys soon. Get well, get some rest, and yeah, take care. Bye.